Navigating an ALS diagnosis, it's an incredibly difficult journey. It's filled with so many questions, a ton of challenges, and, of course, a very natural, very powerful search for hope. But that search for hope is exactly where vulnerability can creep in. And unfortunately, there are predators out there who are more than ready to exploit it. So today, we're going to build a defense. We're going to give you the tools to spot these predators and protect yourself and the people you love. You see, at the heart of this whole issue is a very grim reality. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, is a progressive neurodegenerative disease. And the hard fact is, there is currently no known cure. Now, legitimate treatments, they can help manage symptoms, maybe slow the progression a little bit, but that's it. And it's this gap, right? The gap between the reality of the disease and that deep desire for a cure, well, that creates the perfect storm for fraud to thrive. So in this explainer, we are going to arm you with knowledge. First, we'll get into the psychology behind these scams. Then we'll break down all the red flags to watch out for, look at the most common scam playbooks, and I'll walk you through a simple verification checklist. And finally, we'll talk about how to fight back. Think of this as your guide to empowerment. All right, let's dive into Section 1, Vulnerability, Hope, and Fraud. We need to start by understanding exactly why the ALS community is such a frequent target. It really just boils down to this simple, powerful fact. Scammers prey on hope. When standard medicine has limited options, the promise of a miracle cure, no matter how wild it sounds, can feel incredibly tempting. This emotional vulnerability is the exact doorway that scammers use to get inside. And these scammers, they're experts at turning our own psychology against us. They use all these well-known triggers, like confirmation bias, which makes us hunt for stories that confirm a cure is real, or the sunk cost fallacy, that feeling that makes it so hard to walk away after you've already spent money. They'll also create this fake urgency with things like limited spots available, or they'll use fake doctor titles to sound way more official than they actually are. So this is maybe the most crucial point of the whole explainer. This right here should be your mantra, your absolute non-negotiable rule. Given where medical science is today, any promise of a cure or a reversal for ALS is, with zero exceptions, a scam. Period. Okay, Section 2, Decoding Scammer Red Flags. Now that we get the psychology, let's build your early warning system so you can spot these scams out in the real world. So, how can you spot a fake before you or someone you care about gets pulled in? Well, the good news is the signs are actually pretty clear once you know what to look for. The absolute biggest red flag, number one with a bullet, is the language they use. Legitimate science talks about slowing progression, managing symptoms. Scammers, they talk about cures and reversals. The second you hear that word, alarm bells should be going off like crazy. The next major red flag is all about the money. Scammers will often demand these huge upfront payments. We're talking $10,000, $50,000, sometimes even more. And they'll insist you pay by wire transfer or maybe even cryptocurrency, methods that, just happen to bypass insurance and are basically impossible to trace or get back. Next, you gotta look at the type of proof they're offering. Scammers will show you all these slick videos and glowing emotional stories from other patients. But you know what they won't show you? Peer-reviewed scientific data from a real multi-phase FDA clinical trial. Remember, anecdotes are not evidence. And there are definitely more signs. You want to watch out for claims of secret formulas or clinics that are conveniently located offshore in some unregulated country. Be wary of guarantees of 100% safety, because no real treatment is completely without potential side effects. And very often, they'll push these wild conspiracy theories about mainstream medicine to try and isolate you from your actual doctors. Okay, on to Section 3, the top scam playbooks. So, knowing the red flags is one thing. Now, let's look at the common packages these scams are actually sold in. Stem cell therapy is probably the most common and, frankly, the most predatory scam out there. And the difference between what's real and what's fake is just stark. A legitimate clinical trial is free. In fact, you might even get paid to participate. It's usually at a verified university or a hospital, and it's built on years of hard data. A fraudulent clinic, they're going to demand thousands of dollars up front, they operate offshore, and they rely only on those emotional testimonials we just talked about. But hey, it's not just stem cells. These scams can be anything from unproven supplements and illegally sold drugs to these so-called energy healing devices. You'll also see fake genetic cures, or these online ebooks and courses that promise a reversal protocol, often for a pretty tempting price, like $97. They might look different, but they are all playing from the exact same book. And this brings us to what I think is the most empowering part of our whole explainer, Section 4, your verification checklist. This is how you stop playing defense and start playing offense. Here it is, a simple but incredibly powerful 4-step protocol you can use to check out any treatment. Step 1, check FDA.gov. Is the drug actually approved for ALS? If not, that's a red flag. Step 2, search clinicaltrials.gov. Real legitimate studies are all registered there. Step 3, and this one is so critical, talk to your neurologist. They are your most trusted resource. And fourth, stick to information from established, trusted organizations like the ALS Association or the MDA. And finally, Section 5, how to fight back. Because this isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about protecting the entire community. If you see something that looks like a scam, the steps are really clear. First, do not engage. Don't give them your email, your name, nothing. Second, report it. And third, if you feel comfortable doing it, alert other people anonymously on community forums just to warn them. So, where do you report them? The single most important website in the United States is this one, reportfraud.ftc.gov. Seriously, take a moment, jot that down. It's the official channel for the Federal Trade Commission, and every single report helps them build the cases they need to shut these predators down for good. Now, let's say you come across a treatment and you're just not sure about it. There is an incredible resource you absolutely need to know about, ALS Untangled. This is a team of actual ALS clinicians and researchers from all over the world who scientifically review these alternative treatments. They look at the data, the safety, the plausibility, and they give you an unbiased, expert opinion. It's an amazing service. So let's end with this. Your best defense is always, always knowledge. You see, scams thrive in the dark, in confusion, but they wither when you shine the light of facts on them. And your greatest, most powerful, and most real hope, it doesn't lie in the empty promises of some scam artist. It lies in the dedicated, difficult, and promising work of legitimate scientific research. That is where the real fight for a cure is happening, and that is where it will be won.